Russian drones recently breached Polish and Romanian airspace, prompting Poland to invoke NATO's Article 4, leading to bolstered deployments along NATO's eastern flank. These incidents coincided with Russia and Belarus holding their largest joint military exercises since 2021. Given these deterrence failures, some propose NATO adopt Turkey's 2015 approach: shoot down any aircraft violating Allied airspace. In 2015, Turkey downed a Russian bomber, and Russia's response was minimal, with no further violations. Could this strategy work for NATO today? This article, brought to you by Military Flashpoint, analyzes the 2015 incident and its relevance to current NATO-Russia tensions. The 2015 incident, Turkey vs. Russia. In 2015, Russia supported Bashar al-Assad in the Syrian civil war to secure its Tartus naval base, while Turkey backed rebel factions in a chaotic multi-actor conflict. Tensions were high. In 2012, Syria shot down a Turkish F-4 Phantom jet after it briefly entered Syrian airspace, and later, Syrian artillery hit Turkish cities. Turkey invoked NATO's Article 4, triggering Operation Active Fence, which strengthened NATO's regional presence. On November 24, 2015, two Russian Su-24M bombers took off from Russia's Geopolitical base in Syria to target rebels in northwest Syria. According to Turkey's report to the UN Security Council, the bombers approached a Turkish territorial protrusion into Syria. Turkish radar predicted a brief airspace violation, and Turkey issued 10 warnings over 5 minutes on a pre-agreed 234. 0 MHz channel, which the Su-24M's radio couldn't receive. The bombers entered Turkish airspace, and Turkish F-16s shot one down. It crashed in Syria, while the other returned safely. The downed bomber's pilot was killed by rebels while parachuting. The weapons operator survived. Russia sent rescue helicopters, but rebels fired on one, killing a Russian infantryman. Russia later recovered parts of the wreckage. Russia's response: strong words, weak actions. Russia and Turkey's foreign ministers traded complaints, and Turkey raised the issue at NATO. Russia's response was largely theatrical. Putin labeled the incident a crime and vowed serious consequences. Russia deployed surface-to-air missiles to Geopolitical and sent the Moskva warship to Syria's coast, but these actions didn't affect Turkey. Threats to impose sanctions and halt the Turkstream pipeline never materialized. Turkstream remains operational, and Russia supports Turkey's nuclear power plant construction. Crucially, Russia ceased violating Turkish airspace. A model for NATO, Turkey's zero-tolerance policy, downing the bomber after a brief violation, deterred further Russian incursions without significant retaliation. Some argue NATO's eastern flank facing Russian drone violations should follow suit. Poland has shot down only a few of the many drones entering its airspace, while Romania has been less proactive, sometimes allowing drones to return to Ukraine. Critics say this leniency encourages Russia to persist. Turkey's approach appears low risk. Russia would need to admit the drones are theirs to escalate, and their military is strained in Ukraine. Economic sanctions are unlikely, as Poland has minimal trade with Russia. Challenges to applying Turkey's strategy. Adopting Turkey's strategy today faces 3 issues. 1. Intentionality. The 2015 violation was likely accidental, and Russia, avoiding escalation, backed off. Today's drone incursions seem deliberate, possibly to disrupt NATO unity or test its resolve. Russia gains from continuing, unlike in 2015. 2. Debris risks. Downing drones risks debris causing harm or damage. If drones are heading to less populated areas or back to Ukraine, letting them pass may be safer. Bombers like the Su-24M carry dangerous payloads, necessitating immediate action, but drones pose less threat. 3. Cost imbalance. A Su-24M cost $50 million and carried crew, making violations costly for Russia. Drones like Shaheds cost $50,000 or less and are unmanned. Russia produces thousands monthly, making losses affordable. NATO's F-16 operations cost at least $8,000 per hour, and Patriot missiles cost $1 million each. Using costly weapons against cheap drones is unsustainable. A smarter solution, Turkey's 2015 strategy, isn't ideal for NATO today. Russia may want NATO to expend resources on drones, weakening other defenses. The better approach is targeting Russia's drone production. Equipping Ukraine with long-range weapons to strike Russian factories could deter incursions without NATO directly engaging Russia, minimizing escalation risks while addressing the root issue. For more on global conflicts, explore Military Flashpoint's recommended books in the description. Like, share, and subscribe for updates. See you next time.